days ago, I got a flyer from Woodcraft. And when I was looking through it, I found a hardware kit for a Moxon Vice. And I wondered, what is a Moxon Vice? Never heard of it. But it was interesting looking, a couple of hand wheels, some threaded rod, and some nuts. And then I investigated what it was and found out that it was like a 2-screw vise. I made a crude version of this before to hold a guitar body like this so I could work on the edges. So the crude version of this went something like this. Clamp a 4x4 on the table, a 2x4. To protect the guitar body from getting scratched up, I put a towel in it, stick the body in, a little awkward, but it works. So I thought in the future, maybe I ought to go ahead and make a Moxon Vice. And I already had a lot of the hardware around here to do it, so let's make one. So I measured the end of my workbench. It's right at 27 inches. The end of my router table is 27 inches. 27 inches. So I think I'm going to head out for that scrap pile at the back of the yard and see if I can't find a 4x4. So I'm rocking it back and forth, trying to find the flattest side. That's flat. So that's the only flat side. Flat right here. I got the 2 pieces of wood shaped and prepped. I've got this very aggressive speed bore bit in there, 3/4 of an inch. I got the holes drilled 3/4 of an inch, and I've got the hardware, 2 8-inch by 3/4 inch threaded rods. On the front, I drilled a 1-inch hole to a depth of 5/8 of an inch and made it so it would capture the nut. So on the back side here, I need to make an 1.5-inch hole. So the way I'm going to drill this hole is using this flat bladed 1.5-inch bit. I've made the circle. I've checked both ways to make sure it works. And I've clamped it in place. And I'll drill to a depth of about 3/4 of an inch. Let's install the other captured nut. We'll put the threaded rod in. Okay, now this washer should fit right over that. Put a nut on. We're giving everything a coat of sanding sealer. So I'm making a Moxon Vice, and the ones that I've seen have a big wheel here so it can spin up real easy. And I don't know if I need that kind of a action, but I do want to make something that you can more easily turn this. My plan is to take these large washers and weld them onto the nuts, and that's going to be my hand wheels. So here's the nut welded onto the big washer. I've got the boards coated in clear after the sanding sealer. But before I assemble it, I'm going to put cork on the inside of these jaws to protect whatever I put in there. I've taped off my surfaces. I'm going to Spray this 3M77 adhesive on this and on the cork and stick this together. I've got the logo wood burned in. I got a finish on it. I got the cork on the inside of the jaws. It's time to reassemble the hardware and see how it works. Here's how this spins. Ain't great, but I'm going to add some graphite dry lube to it. I think it works pretty good. Here it is, the finished Moxon Vice for guitar working, not just dovetails. We got the cork on the inside of the jaw to protect the body. If you're worried about the threads marring something, you can always add this foam to it, protect it. This is perfect for saving that edge. This could even work with something that's a little tapered because the jaws can slant. Lay this guitar neck on it, because I got to do a little work up in this end. This vise was inexpensive to build. If you just go to your local hardware, you can buy this threaded rod pretty cheap, the nuts, just regular old 2x4s. You don't need fancy wood. And this is going to speed up my work so much. No more sticking this in between your knees and trying to sand. A great addition to any guitar player's workshop. A 2-screw Moxon Vice. Be sure to subscribe and tell your friends.